Hello. Hi, everybody. I don't know if anybody's here. Surprise. I'm going to do a live stream if the dog will let me. So he was settling down for a nap, and he sat down for approximately 3 minutes. And now I think now that I've settled down to do a video, he's kind of awake. So I don't know if he's going to cooperate or not. Come here, buddy. So I thought I would sit and crochet with you guys. We could have a little conversation. So let's see how that goes. How is everybody today? Is there anybody here? Let me click the right button so that I can see what's going on. See if anybody says hello. I'm working on the off to college blanket. So I have a bunch of squares, and it's actually a whole box of squares. There's probably like 50 squares. And this is, as you guys know, let me know if you can hear me okay, if there's somebody in the chat. Hey, Joe. Hey. Mara. Hi, honey. Hi. Are you awake? Oh, my goodness. So everybody, there's Chicky in the chat room. Hi. So come here, Hobie. Come see Mara. Anyway. If Mara, at the end, you can go back at the beginning because Hobie was right here on my lap a minute ago, but he doesn't sit still for long. So I was going to work on your blanket. So we have we have about 50 squares, and this is the off to college crochet along blanket. So this is the colors and yarn. This is Marley Bird's Chic Sheep yarn for Red Heart by Marley Bird yarn. And this is the yarn that Mara chose for her off to college blanket. And we have about, hey, hello, Celia from Algeria. Very nice. Mara is currently in South Korea. So we've got international friends going on right now. So it's time to put some squares together. So I thought we could do that together. And then I'll make you a video, or I'll put this in the playlist, the Crochet Along playlist, so that you can see in detail how squares go together. But I am working on, we have about 50 squares that Mara and I have made together. And I'm going to take the right sides, and I can't help it. I still love a right and a wrong side. And so we have turned our rows. So some of the rows are on the right side and some of the rounds are on the wrong side. And then I put the middles as the right side and the border is on the right side. That's how I'm determining the difference between the right side and the wrong side for this pattern. But rows are turned. So like the rows in the middle, it really is a reversible pattern. But I will put like all the ends on one side. So when I'm putting the squares together, I'm going to look at the middle and make sure that the final row of the square match, and that will be my right side. So when I'm putting squares together, I will take the right side and another right side and sandwich them like a grilled cheese sandwich. And then I will stitch them together, matching stitches, one stitch for one stitch, so that the points, the square, the corners match up evenly. So Chicky, you and I didn't even, Mara, we didn't talk about like what kind of a join you wanted for your pattern. So we could do lots of different ones. And one of them is to whip stitch them, would be to take a tapestry needle and a long length of yarn and just sew them. And we could do that. And we could do that a couple different ways. We could do it through just the outer loops. So when you put the squares together, there's 4 loops. And so when you stack them, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could do loops 1 and 4 together, and then that would create a visible ridge when you open the sandwich up and reveal the peanut butter and jelly, or the cheese in the grilled cheese sandwich. So you would see like a ridge of stitches. Or you can just do 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, like in a layer, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could just grab stitches 2 and 3, and then you would not see any horizontal ridges when you open it up. Or you could do all 4. So just pick something cool. Okay. So I think what I would like to do, though, because I would rather crochet than sew, and I think many of you agree with me, is you do like the ridge? Okay. So I will, I'm going to crochet them together. So I can either crochet them through all those different loop options with either a slip stitch or a single crochet. A slip stitch will use less yarn. Probably I will do that, but I can do whatever I want. Okay. If you like the ridge, I'll go ahead and do the outer loops. So I'll use loops 1 and 4. And then when you open it up, you'll see a nice little vertical line. It's a design element. I like it. So, and then I'm going to stitch them together with a hook rather than sewing because I'd rather crochet than sew. And so friends, you're with me right now as Mara and I make these design decisions on how we're going to do our crochet along. So I'm going to, for demonstration purposes only, do a little bit of this in white yarn so that you can see it, but that's not going to be the final blanket. The blanket will be in blue. The joining will be in blue, but I just want to kind of demonstrate it just a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. But I need to make an actual video for you with the camera over my hand so you can see what I'm doing. But I thought, hey, I might as well sit and chat with you guys and see if anybody's there to keep me company. So with this square, there's 3 chains in the corner. And traditionally, squares or any shape, motifs, have an odd number of stitches in each corner, usually 3 or 5. And so it's a good option or good time to pick the middle chain of each corner to start. And then when you go back the other way, you'll pick it up again so that the corners are nice and tight. So I'm going to do a few stitches. Oh, and here comes Theo. Come here, Theo. Theo is, I know Mara wants to see Theo. There he is. There's Mara. Hi, everybody. Say hi to Theo. As he kicks me in the head. And here comes Hobie. Okay, Hobie. Wouldn't it be great if you could sit down and just enjoy? But no. And there he goes. So they've been chasing each other all around. Yeah. Let's see. Let me grab him. Say hi, Hobie. So there he is, Mara. Okay, everybody, let's get back to crocheting, shall we? Let's see. Sit. Oh my gosh. Everybody, I do keep a leash on him all the time. When he's not sleeping, I leave the harness and the leash on him because it gives me the best chance of catching him when he goes crazy around the house. So don't worry, he is supervised. So, you know, I can hear him. He's got a little woof when he gets caught on something, but it's usually just the corner of the stairs he gets caught on. And then sometimes like the corner of his little play area he gets caught on and he just woofs at me and then I come and get him. So he is fine with the leash on. So as I was saying, pick up, and anybody here, hit the like button for me while you're here. I'd appreciate it. So pick up the middle stitch of the chains in the corner. And then if I were to slip stitch, I'm going to slip stitch through the outer loops. So 1 and 4, when you stack them all together like pancakes. And I'm going to slip stitch and then I'm going to open it up and show you what you can see of the joining on the right side versus the wrong side. So, and then I'll do some single crochet and show you that. I'm sure you guys probably already know all of this stuff, but anyway, it's fun. It's something to do. And while I'm working, I'm making sure to match stitches. So like the longer stitch of the group, I want to make sure that I'm sewing it or crocheting it to the longer stitch of the group on the wrong side so that I'm matching exactly stitch for stitch so that they're not crooked and I don't end up with stitches left over and then or you know end up running out of stitches and have the corners not meet up properly. So I'm slip stitching right now and then I'm going to switch to single crochet and show you the difference. Hey everybody. Okay. Love you too, Mara. Good night. I miss you too. Everybody, my girl is going to bed. Night, Mara. Love you. Thanks for chiming in, sweetheart. Oh, my girl. Good night. Okay, so when you open up the slip stitch, like you can't even see the white at all. And you can see the little horizontal ridge where you can see the squares butting up against each other. And then on the back, you can see the join. And I was working over my end as I was going because that's what I do. So you can see the join on the back. You can see the white line of slip stitches on the back. So if you kind of pull it a little bit, you can see the white in between. But otherwise, it bumps up nicely against each other, and you just see, it's almost like you were like laying the squares together nicely on the table, like bumping them up and then just leaving them. That's what it looks like when you slip stitch them together through the outer loops. Oh, here comes Theo again. Hey, Theo. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Now I'm going to continue in the row a little bit, but now I'm going to switch to the inner loops only with slip stitch for a moment and show you the difference. And always you can choose the method of joining that you like best, regardless of what the pattern suggests. But remember that as I'm showing you, the different ways to do it will create a different look to it. So as I do like another 5 stitches or so, the line of stitches on the back side is just as pronounced. And this looks messy over here because I was like working over the end. So this is the line of stitches, slip stitches. Okay, the white is the line of slip stitches that join them together. And then when you open them, when I'm working through the inner loops, you can see the join much more on this last 5 stitches that I did more than the first 5. So when you work through the inner loops, you can see the join more, and it's like little vertical hash marks. So that makes a difference in which method of joining you want to use. So then another method, if I do another couple of stitches, here, oh, my phone is beeping. Okay, but it's not Mara because I know Mara's going to bed. So I'm going to single crochet. You can also slip stitch through all the stitches, all 4 edge stitches at the same time. And that makes a really strong join, but it's a lot of thickness too. Let me turn the sound off there. Okay. I'm going to single crochet. If I single crochet through the first and fourth loop, if I stack them up on pancakes, so the outer edges, and I'm single crocheting through, I like this join because it is single crochet is a very strong join, stronger than a whip stitch. And I like to crochet better than I like to sew. So it has a little bit more of a raised join. Look how much taller that is with single crochets than slip stitches. Okay. And then when I open it up, so it does make a ridge that you can feel more, a seam that you can feel. That's how it looks so far. And then on the right side of the blanket, again, you can see some hash marks. But you can also see that there's 2 strands going through each stitch. So that's a really sturdy join. But I would be doing this in blue, so you really can't see it, but it makes a nice strong join. But I wanted to show you in white so you could see the difference between the different types of joins. So also on the right side, the ridge that I keep talking about that's visible is the line of stitches that you don't pick up. So there's actually 2 ridges, one on each side, one for one motif and one for the other. So I don't know if you can see that there. Okay, so there's a little ridge of unused loops. Okay, so I think that that's the join that we're going to use, Mara. I'm going to pull out the white and I'm going to grab some blue and I'm going to match up stitches, placing the right sides of the squares together like a grilled cheese sandwich. And we will use the outer loops and I will slip stitch. I think I'm going to slip stitch because there'll be less of a textured ridge it's a flatter seam than the single crochet seam. So I'm going to slip stitch it because I just kind of liked it better, and it'll use less yarn, which is always a good thing. But it's still very strong because you're crocheting it rather and pulling loops through, 2 strands through, rather than whip stitching, which is just 1 strand in a long running line. So a little bit more of a tight join there. So anyway, how is everybody today? What have you been doing? So Joe's been learning Tunisian stitches. Good. And you know I've got a Tunisian playlist, right, Joe? Because I just added a couple. I added 1 video on Wednesday, and I have another Tunisian video that's all ready to go. It's loaded up for next week. I think it's the 14th is when that one is going to go live, because I'm going to reveal the giveaway winner on like the 12th-ish. So that's why the next Tunisian video is waiting until the 14th, because I don't want to give you all my videos all in one day, because then I don't have any more. So I have to space them out. Okay, so let's see. So I am going to go ahead and start with a slip knot when I'm joining. You don't always have to. You can just like put your hook in and pull up a yarn and start working. And I'm going to work all in a row. So I'll take 2, and then I will add 2 more, and then I'll add 2 more, and it'll be like a pennant like this with 1 long seam across the top here. And then later I'll go back and open it up and do all the verticals. That way I have fewer seams, and there's a lot less ends to cut and tie, or cut and weave in. And I prefer to not weave in too many ends. And we already have plenty on this blanket since we're changing color so often. Okay. So again, I'm putting the right sides together, and I am going through the middle stitch of the corner, and I'm going to slip stitch, which I generally usually single crochet because I like the visual, and sometimes I even crochet it in a different color on purpose to make a design element. But I kind of want this to be invisible, and since I'm going to be invisible anyway, I might as well just slip stitch it and make it a flat seam. And for that, and so I will have to probably fight my instinct to single crochet. Like if I'm not paying attention, I might accidentally single crochet rather than slip stitch. So I'll have to stay on it and pay attention to what I'm doing, because I probably, when I stop paying attention, will default to single crochet, and then I'll have to rip it out and start over again. But when it's blue, it's not the end of the world. It matches. And also I'm remembering to do the outer loops of each motif. So I'm not slip stitching through all 4 loops. I'm just picking up the outer loop of one square and the outer loop of the other square, and leaving the other 2 loops unused. And those unused loops are the ones that create the horizontal ridge across when you open it back up again. Anyway, so what's everybody doing on this fine Saturday morning? Although in South Korea, it's Saturday night. So Mara is 13 hours ahead. And nobody, he's getting in my box. At 13 hours ahead, so 10:30, it's 11:30 at night there, hence why she is going to sleep right now. What time is it in Algeria? That's probably what, 8 hours ahead? Maybe it's let's see, if it's 10:30 in the morning here, then it's maybe 8:30 at night there, perhaps. So our son, my son Patrick, is currently he's on a ship in the Mediterranean heading to Barcelona, and that is 6 hours ahead. So if it's 10:30 in the morning here, then it's 4:30 in the afternoon there. So the mental gymnastics, the math of where are my kids has been quite complicated lately, and I'm so thrilled for them. Nope. Doggy just stole a square. No, doggy. The mental gymnastics of doing the math of where are my kids now has been pretty exciting. Adele, you're making a teddy bear. I just had not been able to get super started on amigurumis. Like I did a couple years ago, and I don't know. I don't really like how they turn out. I need to problem solve like why they don't turn out as well as I want them to. Like, I know that I did the videos for you on how to do the invisible increases and the invisible decreases and stuff. And so I use those strategies, but I'm not thrilled with it. So I need to keep practicing. Practice, 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 right? So, so I can feel that Theo the cat is under the couch. And Hobie the dog is here, like, poking around. And so they're sort of chasing each other. There's a nice super close up of Hobie the dog. Anyway, so Adele, you're making a teddy bear. How big is the teddy bear going to be? He's like knocking onto my computer. Stop, buddy. Sit. Sit, buddy, sit. How big is your teddy bear going to be? Is it for a gift? So did you guys see the little video I posted of me petting Hobie? He was so sleepy for a moment until I petted him. This dog, he sleeps well at night, but then he's awake all day. So he really does not rest during the day, but then he sleeps well at night. So that's a trade-off. I guess I'd rather not wake up in the middle of the night if I didn't have to. So I guess that's a good thing. Anyway, back to crocheting. So what else is everyone else working on? I'm almost done with this first square already. Can you believe that? This first join, this first pair of squares. It really does go pretty fast. I'm taking care not to split the yarn is why I'm taking so long on this particular stitch. Also, I agree that dark yarn like navy or black is harder to work on. It's harder to see than like lighter colors. Oh, okay. So maybe he's going to sit down and nap now that I'm kind of ignoring him for a few minutes. Wouldn't that be nice if he would nap? Please nap. It's supposed to be 12 inches, but you're using chunky yarn and it looks big right now. You're getting a jump start on Christmas gifts. Excellent. Smart lady. So yeah, that if you change the yarn from a worsted weight to a chunky weight and it was 12 inches, it's going to be bigger. Unless you like crochet really tightly with a smaller hook. So yeah, it's going to be bigger. And you don't want a teddy bear to be too squishy or too floppy, drapey, but you want to you want it to be dense enough to hold all the stuffing in. Hey, Carlene, you just missed Mara. Mara was just here on the chat and then she went to bed. She is in South Korea having a great time. So it's bedtime there in South Korea. So I know, Carlene, you have been a big supporter of Mara's adventures and ventures too. So very good. So morning in Tucson. Yeah, I guess so. So it's 10:43 in the morning here in Ohio. And so is it 7:43? That's early for you guys. So sorry to be doing a live post when like so many people are not maybe up and moving yet. Grab your coffee and come join us. So I am not whip stitching. I am slip stitching squares together on Mara's off to college blanket. So I finished the first square. I'm slip stitching through the outer loops only, and I'm just going to go ahead and add some more. So I'm working like a pennant, and I'm going to work across this set, and then I'm going to add two more, and I'm putting the right sides together. And then once I have this big long line of them, I will add another line to them. And it might pull the weight of it, might pull a little bit. This dog is knocking everything down. The weight of it might pull a little bit of a gap between squares, but I'm not really worried about it. And then when I go back and do all the verticals, it'll tighten it all up. So Patrick is currently texting me from Barcelona. So that is just it's so amazing. It's so amazing. Like this is like I didn't travel outside of the country until I was married. And then we didn't get to Europe until I was 40, 4. Like I never, like it's still blows my mind how this generation of kids, it's so much different to the opportunities that they have to travel is so much greater than we ever had when I was younger. And I'm very, very grateful for them. But also, like it's an expense and we can't afford it, but we're making it work because, hey, God provides. So anyway, it's so every time I say like, oh, my kid is in Barcelona or my kid is in South Korea, I just have to like sit in awe of the moment that my kids have these opportunities. And I know not a lot of kids do. And even with us, making it happen and saving for months and months and months to make it happen, even families can't manage to do that, which I totally get it. So I'm very, very grateful. We are very, very blessed. But it's such a surreal feeling to know that my kids are experiencing these wonderful things, and I hope it really helps them grow as global citizens. And they are already compassionate people, but to really help them have a perspective, a global perspective about we're all in this together kind of thing. So anyway, Tanya, you're making a mandala, but it's slow going. You hurt your shoulder. What did you do? Did you fall down or what happened, Tanya? Let's see. And Mare's working on Pokemon Go game inspired character hats. Oh, good. Your own designs. It's too bad though that you won't be able to sell them if they're inspired by a trademarked thing. But that's awesome. And I hope that they are a lot of fun to make because those Pokemons often have really bright colors and are really super cute. So enjoy that. I'd love to see some. You'll catch her on the replay. Yes. 7:45 in the morning with your coffee. Good. You're sewing in ends on a sampler squares blanket. Well, that's good. Hopefully there's not too many ends. With this off to college blanket, Cal, I was working really hard to make sure that I worked over the top of ends as much as possible so that I would have fewer to do later. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's the price you pay for beauty. Yes, adventurous and brave. Yeah, I'm just in awe of my kids. Like, I cannot imagine. I mean, when I was 18, the day I turned 18, I don't even remember what I was doing. I know I was not like on a plane jet setting around the world without my parents. I know that. But yes, is way more adventurous than me. And she's sending me pictures of the food and stuff and everything that they're doing, which is super exciting. I am very proud of her adventurous spirit. It's like fortune favors the bold. I want her to be bold. I also want her to be safe and careful. So, it's a high faith proposition for sure. It is a high faith activity. Yeah. All right. Thought I saw Theo and then, oh, you know what happened? Theo was eating Hobie's food and Hobie heard it. And that's why Hobie had to go run and eat his food because whenever Theo eats Hobie's food, then Hobie gets mad and not mad, but jealous and wants to go eat it. So Tanya, you just woke up and it hurt? Well, maybe you were sleeping like, I think when I sleep with my arm up, then it hurts, and I notice crocheting doesn't bother me at all. But if I sleep on my elbow, on my right arm, my dominant arm, then my elbow hurts. So I've gotten in the habit of sleeping with my arm extended so that it doesn't hurt when I crochet. So I just can't sleep with my elbow bent. But I'm really grateful that knock on wood, I've never had any other crochet related injuries. So, I just have to be careful of my elbow joint so that I protect it because you do like the twisting is a lot. Like if you hold your hand down here on your elbow and you twist your hand like you're crocheting, you can feel everything moving down here. And so we want to not hurt it. Also, I don't know about you guys, but I never think that I'm sore from crocheting. I don't feel sore. I don't feel achy. But if I were to just press on this muscle here, so the one that's attached to your thumb, So the muscle extending from your thumb to your elbow, like if I press on this here, it's sore. Like it's sore right there. But I don't ever think about it. And so like it doesn't hurt to move it. But if I press on it, I can feel that I use it a lot. And it's not the same at all on my non-dominant arm. It's this one. It's so you may think that you're not having any crochet injuries, but extending your arm with your thumb down like you're shaking hands is a good stretch for this muscle here. So like we're shaking hands, that's a good stretch for this muscle here. And then you just need to be careful and stretch. If you take a 20-minute break, a break every 20 minutes or every hour, get up and walk around. Absolutely. So funny. So I never believed in chiropractors. I'm always so happy to say this, but then I think I had told you guys this before, but then I had fallen down when my Charlie cat had gotten sick, and I like knocked my hip out of whack. And I ended up going to the chiropractor and he fixed it. Like in 2 visits, no medication, he fixed it. So now I'm a total believer in this guy. Like I totally appreciate what he does. So the other day I was there because I had run a lot of races and I wanted him to just put me back together. Anyway, while I was there, I'm like, can you do anything for my wrists? Like, I don't think they hurt, but I do use my hands a lot. And he was like pressing on, and I'm like, I didn't know chiropractors could do that. And he totally like was like fixing it. So anyway, so I think sometimes, you just see what they can do. If you have somebody you trust, see what they can do. I know he also, Mara clenches her jaw when she sleeps, and so the chiropractor can fix it. He totally like does something and it makes her feel better. And I'm like, cool. If that's what it takes to make it feel better, that is awesome. So, if you have somebody you trust, have them look at your other joints too, not just your spine, because good ones really know what they're doing. Anyway, so what else is going on, everyone? Carlene, you're making a sampler squares blanket. What pattern is it? Is it something that you made up, or is it? I remember my mom doing one. Hey, buddy. Hello. I remember my mom did a blanket. I think I'm 95% sure it was a Leisure Arts pattern leaflet. And it was like 63 squares to crochet. And the cover was like, I want to say it was pale pink and pale green squares, but it was 63 different squares. And it was a sampler blanket leaflet. And my mom don't know if she did every square, but there were handwritten notes that she had written in the leaflet when she made the square and cross-checked it off the list or made a correction or whatever, made a note on it. And I've used a couple squares out of that leaflet before I started designing, when I would make blankets for other people. And anyway, I don't know. I digress. So my mom made that blanket, and I have that because my mom died 20 years ago, 22 years ago. It'll be 22 years at the end of this month. But so it's nice for me to have things in her handwriting. Hitchhiker's thumb. Do I have hitchhiker's thumb? Is that a hitchhiker's thumb that my thumb goes that far back? I think so. Yeah, I've got crazy joints. Like I know my elbow sticks out funny. I guess you probably can't tell in this shirt, but my elbow sticks out funny. And yeah. All right. So Leisure Art Scripture Afghan 48 squares from the 90s. Yeah. So I don't know when my mom would have made this blanket, My brother got married in 94. And I'm thinking that she made that blanket for him and his wife as a wedding gift, I'm thinking. So I'm thinking, yes, it would have been the 90s. And then she died in 97. So it would have been published probably in early 90s or late 80s. And it's probably not the same blanket, the same leaflet, Carlene, because I'm pretty sure this one was not a scriptures one, and I think it was like 63 squares is what stands out in my head, more than 48. But still, samplers are a great way to learn, and you can really just pick and choose what you want, and you can make them into, pot holders if you want. Make them cotton pot holders instead, or whatever. Make it into any shape. I'm a firm believer that you should take instructions for what they're worth and turn them into something that works for you. See, this dog just does not settle down. It's like he cannot get comfortable. Oh my gosh, maybe he'll settle down now that I said that. oh my gosh, Hobie. Have a seat, Hobie dog. Up, and there he goes. He hears Theo running around, so now he has to go investigate. Leaflet 2770. $4.50 way back then. That is a bargain. That is a bargain now for sure. So I don't know exactly how many squares I'm making for this blanket, and I kind of lost count. Last time I counted, we had 42 squares made, and then I made a bunch more. So we're up to at least 50, maybe even 52. And so I have not decided like how many squares across and how many squares down I'm going to make. Copyright 1995. And that's the one that you did, Carlene, the scriptures, 48 squares. Does it actually have scripture passages for each square, or is it like, what's the scripture tie-in, or is the square related to the scripture in some way? I'm just curious how they work that out. Anyway, so I haven't decided how many squares down and how many squares across I'm going to make this blanket. If I have, so now I've got three pairs like connected, and I'm going to keep going. I'll do at least, I have at least 42 squares. I'll probably do 6 or 7 across. And then, so I'll do like 6 rows of 7, and then I can add on more rows later. But they just won't all be connected in this similar way, but you won't be able to tell because it's blue yarn. But I'm just trying to find a way to, this is my favorite way to do it because it feels more efficient and there's less cutting and tying. So 24 patterns, 4 colors, scripture blanket. Hobie! I don't know if I have to go rescue him. I'm hearing the cat meow. But the cat is fine. We'll keep going and see what happens. All right. So, Carlene, you are a prolific stitcher. Now, I think you also work outside of your home. If I remember correctly, you're maybe a nurse or something. So you use your time efficiently. You get a lot done, don't you? That's really impressive. Okay, so each pattern is links to a Bible verse, supposedly for what the stitch pattern looks like. Okay. You're an RN. Do you have a specialty, or what's your what kind of department do you work in? If I'm allowed to ask, you can always say pass when I ask you a question. I'm just curious. So when I get to squares like this one, I'm going to go ahead and use the tied corner side edge corner. And so I'll just be careful to get the first stitch in the middle of the chain 3 corner, and be careful to grab it good so that I don't like just pull a loop where the pull through tie will come out. Like I don't want to put too much tension on that part. So I'm just going to keep right on going. Occupational health, but only part-time. Well, that's good. That's still serving the world part-time. So you probably know all about the muscle stuff and how to get functional to live again. So My design friend Susie Allen is a physical therapist, and so she has said some things to me about, like, you know, how to use massage and stuff to loosen the muscles related that you use when knitting and crocheting, including workers' compensation. Yep. You got to get functional for life, don't you? Work or play or whatever. Yeah. All right. Oh, this dog never settles down. But I'm glad to see you guys today. I'm glad you're keeping me company while I do a little bit of stitching. Need to try and get some things done while the kids are away. Patrick will be home on Wednesday. Mara's not coming home till around, I think, the 23rd. Hey, behave. Hey. I know you're excited. So they're playing over there. Bye, Tanya. Have a great day. All right. Yeah, lots of overuse injuries. Yeah, I'm sure. And it's certainly related to neck and hands with all the computer work and phone stuff we do and crocheting. But for people's work, yes, when they do overuse injuries, for sure. Not good. Gotta keep taking good care of yourself for life, not just for work. So what else is going on? Anything? I'll probably take off here in a few minutes, but I wanted to spend some time with you, and then I probably should go ahead and make this into an actual video for you so you have a better chance of seeing how these stitches go together. And I'll place this video not only in the live conversations playlist, but I'll put it in the crochet along playlist also, so that you can hear again, if you want, the discussion about the different methods, some of the different methods of joining, and choose for yourself which one you want to do. Hobie, be nice. I'm sorry, Minnie. Minnie's upset because Hobie's chasing her. Hey, leave her alone. Leave it. It's a zoo. The kids aren't even home, and it's a zoo. It's an absolute zoo around here. But I love them, even though they're Dickenses. You're a big fan of the slip stitch join? Yeah, I think I like single crochet better, but like I said, it uses more yarn. So I think I'm happy with the slip stitch. It'll make a nice flat seam, and you really won't be able to see it, and it'll open up real nice and lay flat like a book. It won't stand up, and the ridge won't be real visible. So yeah, it's a good thing. I don't understand. I mean, I get it that people don't like putting motifs together, but it's a necessary evil. I mean, the convenience of having portable projects and then having to sit down and sew them all together, it's not that bad. It's worth it to have a portable project, to have a project in your bag or in the car or wherever. So I'm just going to add another set, another pair. Hobie, I know you want to play, honey. I'd better get going. I need to distract them. They're cornering poor Minnie. Minnie, are you all right? Theo, leave her. They're bullying my poor Minnie. Hey. I'd better get going. All right. Thanks, everybody. Oh, as soon as more people show up, I'm so sorry, but I'll get going. A new video is coming to reveal the giveaway winner on Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Wednesday. And then a new Tunisian video is coming out on Friday. And I hope to do at least another live stream between now and then. So I don't know, maybe I'll get to that Monday. Maybe Monday. I'll try. No promises, but I'll try. That sounds like fun to me. So I hope to do that. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Happy weekend. And thanks for joining me on the live conversation. Take care. Bye.